And now the next case.
Parties on Pretty versus Pretty. Step forward, please.
22-year-old hospital worker Joshua Pretty is suing his estranged wife, 20-year-old Denise Pretty, for her newborn's medical bills. He says the baby is not his.
Who are you?
The witness, Dawn.
If we need you, we'll call you. Would you take the baby outside, please?
Yes.
Mr. Pretty, according to your complaint, you and the defendant are married. You married after this baby was born.
No, we married before she was born.
But while she was pregnant?
Yes.
You are now in the process of divorcing.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to tell me what you're suing for, sir?
Some of the medical bills, which...
Medical bills for what?
For when she was pregnant. Because of the fact that after we were married, they came out and said the kid may not be mine. And I need to know the truth. I need to know if the kid is mine.
So why don't you go for a paternity test?
That's what we're going to be doing.
Well, you would agree, would you not, that if, assuming that he is not the father of this child for a moment, then he shouldn't be required to pay anything. You would agree with that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's fine, so that after the test results, you can come back to court. That's fine. Now, so we just dealt with your claim, at least temporarily. Now, you have a counterclaim.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
What's your counterclaim for?
My counterclaim is in regards to the wedding ring set that's on my mother's account.
Well, who's suing, you or your mother?
I believe I would be considered on that part. The price of the rings, because it went on my account because they did not have any credit.
Well, who did you make the arrangements with regard to the wedding rings?
The two of them.
The two of them?
Yes.
Tell me how that came about.
They needed to get married. They did get married. They wanted to get their wedding rings. Could not get credit on their own. I said, yes, you can get it on my account, but I want the payments made. I believe he made about 6 months of payments towards these rings and then quit paying it.
How much did your daughter pay? How much did
I
you
believe
pay?
she made 2 months of payments and Joshua paid the rest. And I believe they were like $90 a month.
Excuse
Who
me, ma'am.
paid?
I paid them. She had no job.
How much were these rings altogether?
Probably close to about 2,000.
How much were the rings?
I figure about 14.
What do you mean you figure about? Do you have a receipt? You
No.
buy rings, you get a receipt.
No, I don't have the receipt, but I know that my account at that point was approximately $1,400.
No, madam. Listen to me. It's not, you come to court, you come prepared. They were put on your credit card.
Right.
So that means that at one point you got a statement, and the statement said, Lovely Jewelers, $1,400. And you know the jewelry store where you bought them? So that you can always get a duplicate. You can get a
Correct.
duplicate from your credit card. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was a joint obligation because you both agreed to pay her back?
Yes, ma'am.
So that each of you would be responsible for half. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. She has the rings. She turned the rings back into the jewelry store after we split up. I
Did
gave
you?
her the rings.
Yes.
And how much credit did they give you?
They didn't give us any credit. They want us to pay it off.
Then what'd you give the rings back for?
To put it towards so they wouldn't keep billing us anymore for the rings.
Is being held.
Just a second. Give me a break. Where you people are coming from?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
You got the bill let's say it was $1,400, which you're going to have to bring to me when you get the results of these blood tests back. When you give the rings back to the store, they either say to you, all right, we'll take them back, we'll give you so much for them, we'll give you half, we'll give you 3/4, we'll give you so much for the rings. But the rest you have to give us. We're not taking it back completely. Now, he said he's paid already a substantial portion for the rings. How many months' payments did you make?
Approximately 6.
So he's paid 6 $90 payments?
$90 or $100 payments.
Okay. So he paid something towards it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's very possible that they said, just give us back the rings. He's made some payments. We'll call it even.
I paid about, if it was $1,400, ma'am, I paid half. I paid almost half because it was between $90 and $100 a month for 6 months. That's almost half of it.
And did you pay by check or cash?
Usually cash.
Who did you give the cash to?
The jewelry store itself.
Did you get a receipt?
Yes, ma'am.
So you must have the receipts.
I don't have them with me because I
You bring them back with the tests that you're going to take. So you're going today to take your blood tests?
Yes, ma'am.
You're going today?
Yes.
Good. We'll reschedule this case as soon as I get the results of the blood tests. That's all.
Parties are excused. This will be recalled.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Parties on Hollister versus Ambrose. Step forward, please.
42-year-old hairdresser Kathy Hollipter is suing her son, 18-year-old Michael Ambrose, for smashing her car with a pipe. Michael is suing his stepfather, Robert Hollipter, for assault.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 322 on the calendar in the matter of Hollipter versus Ambrose. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mrs. Hollipter, who is the owner of the car in question?
I am.
And this is your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you have a seat, sir? You filed this lawsuit against the defendant, who's your son, for damaging your car.
Correct.
Which you say occurred in an altercation that involved your husband.
Yes.
I have a couple of preliminary questions. When I read these papers, it appears that there is currently an action pending against your husband in some court. Is that a criminal case pending against your husband or a civil case?
Both, I am assuming.
What do you mean you're assuming?
Okay, the criminal...
Was he arrested?
Yes, he was, for disorderly conduct, as well as my son.
Okay. So, we are not going to entertain, sir, your counterclaim. If it's true that the action is still pending against your stepfather, then we can't take your hands out of your pockets. Then we can't entertain your counterclaim right now because he can't testify. Do you understand?
Ma'am, the only one that's currently against him is assault, and that's a totally different matter.
Assault against whom?
Assault against my girlfriend.
As a result of this incident?
Yes.
I understand that. Doesn't make any difference. If he's going to testify here, he would be testifying as to this incident. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why don't you tell me what happened?
On the evening of July 21st, my husband and I got a phone call stating that my middle son, Jim, who's also our witness, had brought some people over to Michael's house wanting to buy the car that he had not paid my husband for in January.
Okay, so let's start. You had purchased a car from your stepfather.
No, ma'am, I gave him what was a down payment on the car, and we had a verbal agreement because he had another vehicle at that time that he had
Just
purchased.
a second. You were going to buy a car from your stepfather.
Yeah.
And there came a time when they wanted the car back because you weren't making payments, or they said you weren't making payments.
No, ma'am, I had gave them a down payment, and I gave them a little here and a little there because that was our verbal agreement.
Okay, but there came a time that they wanted the car back, which caused them to come over to your house that day.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what happened?
And
That's what they were doing there.
Yes, ma'am, because I called them and told them to come pick up the car, that it was fine. And when they arrived at my house, Mr. Hollipter was in my mother's car, and apparently he was highly intoxicated.
Okay. So you went to pick up the car with your husband.
Correct.
What happened when you got there?
Well, I went on in the house and visited with his girlfriend and my 3 grandbabies.
So what happened?
There
was a problem with your husband. Look, I read the papers. There was
Yes,
clearly a problem with your husband. Your husband came into the house at some point
Yes.
and started a little bit of trouble, which caused you to have your other son. Is this your other? You have another
Your
son?
Honor.
Who are you?
Jimmy.
This is your other son?
My middle son, yes.
Which caused him to come in and take your husband and put him out into the car.
Yes, at my request.
Okay, because he was creating a problem in the house.
There was obscene language. Michael got out of the car, and my husband approached him and said, let's me and you talk about this car. And he says, you man. And my husband had an empty can of beer, threw it down on the ground. I got up after hearing the language and the tone of voice, and I opened the door. Michael rushed in real fast past me and caused me to lose my balance and go over to the side of the door. And then my husband came in right after him. Then my son came in and I said, grab him, Jim. I didn't want any altercation.
Grab who?
My husband. I did not
Okay.
want anybody hurt.
Good. So you told your middle son over here to grab your husband and take him out to the car.
Yes, and I was helping.
So, according to your papers, you're in the car. Husband's getting into the car and you're in the car, you're all about to leave when he comes out.
Correct.
And what happened when he came out?
Michael ran past me with a steel pipe about 3.5 feet long. And as we were putting my husband into the car on the passenger side, he hits the top of my door frame with the steel pipe. I'm going around to the driver's side, and he comes around to my side, is poking and gouging me and my husband with this pipe, ripped my seat, a tear about this long. He had my door body blocked open to where I could not get away. I was scared and shaken and everything else, but I did manage to get my keys back. Floorboarded my car. He grabbed it, still had the pipe in his hand like this and batted the back of my small rear glass window.
You have the photographs for me?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. They are attached to the estimates.
All right, Mr. Ambrose. Now I'll hear you.
All right, I just pulled up, and Mr. Hollipter was in the car. And when he got out, look, I was already inside of my fenced-in yard. And he came up, and he had a full bottle or a full can of beer in his hand. And he said something, and I said, "Ma'am, whatever." And he said, "Don't walk away from me when I'm talking to you." And anyway, I proceeded to step up on my front porch, where he came inside my yard and grabbed me by my arm and pulled me down. Okay, and I was trying to avoid conflict, so I stepped up on my porch, went inside the house, and my girlfriend Anna, I told her to get on the phone, which is right by the door, okay, and she was on the phone with the police when he busted in my door. And when he busted the door open, it came open and it cut my one of my 3 babies' toe open, the weather stripping on the bottom of the door. And I have pictures of my door, the police report.
You have pictures of the foot?
I have pictures of the foot, but they didn't come out clear. But
Well, that to me was more important than anything else.
I have a copy of the bill.
Just a second. That to me was more important than anything else. But we're not going to get into your counterclaim right now. I'm listening to this because it's important, because you were clearly very angry.
Yes, ma'am, because I felt that I had to defend my home because somebody came into my house.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Assaulted me, my girlfriend, and one of my kids, and done damage to my property.
But they were leaving and you were no longer in danger, Mr. Ambrose. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do, and
Good!
And later today,
This man waving his arms and screaming at my son, and Marco began to cry, and I gave him my card and said, "Don't yell at my son, please call me if you would like to talk about this."
Kathy Hollipter says her son, Michael Ambrose, ripped into her car with a pipe during an altercation with his stepfather, Robert Hollipter.
Now, Mr. Ambrose, so let's take this step by step. There came a point after all this happened that your mother and your brother were trying to get your stepfather, drunk or sober, back into the car. Now, you, according to you, were stuck in your house because you couldn't get the door open.
Yes, ma'am, because when he busted in, my doorknob was busted off. Our door frame has an 1.5 inch gap in it.
Let's assume all of that is true. He is now out of the house. You are stuck in your house and you can't open the door.
I climbed out my window.
So you climbed out the window. And where did you find this pipe?
Sitting right beside my flower pot, because we've got like 4 stairs, and you walk down, there's an extra pole there.
So you walked down the 4 steps and there you saw this pole.
I flew down.
Flew down. And you flew down because you were?
Because somebody had came into my house and assaulted me, my girlfriend, and one of my kids, and done damage to my property.
But they were leaving and you were no longer in danger, Mr. Ambrose. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do, and
Good!
I understand that they was trying to flee the scene of what, you know.
Mr. Ambrose, you didn't have unknown burglars in your house trying to flee the scene. You had your mother and her husband and your brother. Your family was no longer in harm's way.
Well, the damage had already been done, ma'am.
Right! Right.
None of this would have occurred if somebody wouldn't have came into my house. Nothing would have occurred like that.
You're absolutely right. But the law says that once there is an intervening event, you are no longer protecting your property. Especially in this situation. These were not, as I said to you, 2 strangers who had invaded your home. This was your mother and her husband and your brother, and it was a family situation, and a very hostile family situation that was very stupid to begin with, to bring somebody who was hot-tempered and had a little too much to drink probably to the house. But you knew where they were, you knew where they lived. If you waited for the police come and you say, someone broke into my house, assaulted my wife, hurt my child, broke my door, I want to file a police report. They're not fleeing the jurisdiction, they're not going to Argentina. This is where they live. You were very angry. And what you did was, you went outside, and for no reason that is legally acceptable, you damaged your mother's car.
All right.
All right.
Have my papers back.
You'll get them back. The estimates that I have for the car.
Well, I have pictures of that car showing that there's no way that there's any kind of, you know, that there's any way that the estimate could be $1,000.
Mr. Hollipter is a mechanic. He works odd jobs as a mechanic, and he has lots of friends who would do these for him. Those pictures were taken at her place of employment.
Without my knowledge, Your Honor.
What difference does it make? Alleged damage to the interior. The seats are ripped from where you ripped the seats with the pole.
No, ma'am, that's wear and tear on that vehicle.
We've had people look at the pictures, and they said there is no way that
Don't tell me what other people said.
An estimate.
You can't tell me what other people said in this proceeding. What year car is this?
It's a 1987 with 126,000 miles and a racing engine in it.
1987, so
Yes,
the car
ma'am.
is 11 years old.
Yes.
I think that your son may be right. I can't tell whether this damage was caused by a pole or caused by something other than a pole, sort of like...
Well, it was caused from the jagged end of the pipe on the seat. And my shoulder also had a bruise and a scratch on it from that. I had several bruises, but I did not think to take pictures of it. I thought since it was a family matter, we could resolve it.
Well, unfortunately you can't, and unfortunately I can't hear the rest of this case because of the matter that's pending, the criminal matter that's pending against your husband. But I am going to give you $300 to have your car painted, this 11-year-old car. That's all. Judgment in the case is for the plaintiff. The amount of $300. That's all.
It had a brand new paint job on it when I bought it.
That's all.
Step out. We'll get you your paperwork. Step out.
I didn't get what I expected I would get for the damage that was done to my car, and it shouldn't matter that a car is 11 years old.
She's the boss, applesauce. That's it, man.
And now the next case.
All parties on Windler versus Benson Snyderman. Step forward, please.
44-year-old administrator John Windler says his sport utility truck was dinged by 5-year-old Marco Schneiderman.
Well, I've read both of your papers, your complaint and your response, and this is not a very difficult legal question, something that happens to people all the time, so I don't quite understand your position, Miss Benson, because according to these papers, you were in a parking lot. Parked your car. What kind of car did you have?
1996 Ford Explorer.
And the defendant and her little boy were in the same parking lot and parked right next to your car. And according to these papers, your little boy was scurrying into the car. You were trying to put him into the car, and the door opened up wide, dinging your car.
That's correct.
So tell me what happened, sir.
I approached my car from the rear, saw her putting her child in the back rear.
This adorable little thing right over here.
Well, I believe that is the case. And she was putting him in the driver's side rear door, and as she was putting him in, the door was flung open and consequently hit my door, and at the same time I went up, showed the defendant where it hit the door, and showed her the mark on the door.
Describe the ding on the door.
About 1/4 of an inch long, all the way through the paint so that you could see the bare metal underneath, about 1/8 of an inch high.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She said, look, I don't feel like I should have to pay for this because door dings are part of life in Los Angeles. Get a life.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. 44-year-old administrator John Windler says his sport utility truck was dinged by 5-year-old Marco Schneiderman.
What kind of conversation transpired after you saw this ding on your car?
Pointed out to her, asked her if I could get her information. She gave me her business card, and she seemed to indicate that it was, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe the conversation went something on the order of door dings are a part of living in Los Angeles, and that, you know, I should just go on my way.
So you took your car, I'm sure, and had an estimate done?
Yes.
Good. I'm going to take a look at that in a second. Okay, so you gave him your business card?
Well, as I recall, after I had put my son in the car and I had warned him that the car parked next to us was very close, I opened the door and he was scurrying up into his car seat. He was barely 4 years old at the time. Just had almost, he says he was 3, but he had just turned 4. And as he was getting into the car seat, the door inched open a little bit more. There wasn't enough room really for it to go too much further, and it bumped very slightly the car next to us. And the next thing I remember is this man waving his arms and screaming at my son. And Marco began to cry. And I gave him my card and said, don't yell at my son. Please call me if you would like to talk about this.
Okay. Let me see.
The estimate?
Mm-hmm. Well, your estimate is for how much?
$229.
Why are you suing her for $537.17?
There was, we also got an estimate for a rental car for the week while we were, while we'd be out to use my car. We called both Enterprise
They
and
need
Hertz.
a week to paint a car?
They
To
need
paint a
week.
ding on a car? Forget it. They don't need a week to paint a car. Look, Miss Benson, and this clearly was an accident, right? That's why they have accident insurance rather than on-purpose insurance. Don't you feel as if you're responsible for it?
I would feel responsible if I knew for certain that my son had opened the car door and caused the damage that they're claiming that he caused.
I'd like to say something.
Were
if
you
I could.
there?
No, I wasn't there, but I spoke to her after the fact.
Who were you?
My name's Catherine Windler, and I'm John's wife. And I tried to call the defendant and work it out with her. When I called her, I said, look, there's been a problem with, you know, this accident, and she said, well, so what? Look, I don't feel like I should have to pay for this because door dings are part of life in Los Angeles. Get a life.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why didn't you just resolve it with her?
I'd said, I'm sorry. I did say, I'm sorry that you have a ding in your door. If we caused it, I'll help pay for it. But she insisted that we pay for the whole thing. And
well, what do you mean help pay for it? If the ding was caused by your 5-year-old son, I mean, he didn't do it on purpose. He was trying to get into a car. But if it was caused by you, it certainly wasn't caused by them, why do you feel as if they should share the cost in fixing it?
She threw out the figure of $500 almost right away, and I said, there is no way that my son cost $500.
No, the damage to the car was $229. That's the estimate to have it fixed.
At that point, I thought she became very unreasonable. And
did you say to her dings are part of life in Los Angeles?
I did. I believe that. I mean, I have dings all over my car, and I'm not out suing anyone.
Certainly, if I were out of my car and I saw somebody whack my car on the side and there was a ding or a dent or a scratch in my brand new car, I would want that person to make good and take care of it.
I take exception to the term whack. There was not that kind of force involved.
Whether you believe that there was or there wasn't, you had an opportunity to look at it. You chose not to do that because you were upset.
I did look at it. There was a small scratch on the door.
Well, that's what he says. He says it was just 1/4 of an inch, but he said it went all the way down to the paint, to the base of the car.
I don't know how it could have gone all the way down to the paint.
I don't know how either, madam, but it's unlikely that he added a ding in the exact same place caused at some other time other than this time. So pay the money and forget about it. You know, you do something, you're responsible for something, you're supposed to make good at it, put a period and move on with your life. That's all. His son didn't mean to do it. He's an adorable little boy. But that happens when you're putting kids in a car. So you go have your car fixed. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $229. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Parties on Truman versus Sally. Step forward, please.
42-year-old Robert Schumann insists 25-year-old Malipon Sally owes him for not paying rent, damaging his car, and a gambling debt. She says Robert became too possessive.
Order. All rise. This is case number 358 on the calendar in the matter of Truman versus Sally. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Truman, according to your complaint, you met and became involved with the defendant. You rented her a room in your home.
I rented her a house.
And she didn't pay rent.
That's correct.
You then lent her a car, and she damaged the car, and she didn't pay to repair it.
That's correct.
And then you took her gambling with you and gave her money to gamble, and she didn't pay you back.
That's correct. She was already gambling.
But you went together,
right,
because you did lend her the money, according to you, when you were both gambling together. Right?
That's correct.
All right, so she was a renter who didn't pay rent. She borrowed your car, trashed it, didn't fix it. You took her gambling. She lost money. You gave her money for gambling. She never paid you back. When did you wake up and say, this is not a good thing?
About toward the, maybe about the middle of August. That was after she had already told me about maybe her 25th lie and the different excuses on how she was going to pay me back. And after hearing it over and over again, I got tired of it.
How long did she live in your house?
About 4 months.
And in the 4 months period that she lived there, how many times did she pay rent?
She didn't pay rent at all.
And how much was she supposed to pay in rent?
$450.
A month?
Yes.
So after the first month that she lived there, sir, why didn't you boot her out?
I kind of felt sorry for her because actually we kind of developed a friendship. And she had told me at the beginning of May that she couldn't pay the security deposit or the month of May because of the fact that she had her money lost.
She lost her money?
She said she lost the money at work or something. So I told her that.
Well, what about the second month?
As far as the second month is concerned, I began to know her a little bit more, and she began to make up more and more different stories on kind of problem that she was having. She was telling me at that time that basically is that her workplace was withholding all of her paychecks and things like that, not paying her at work.
What kind of work was she doing?
She's working as a waitress in Hollywood or something.
Go ahead.
So I told her that, even on top of that, though, you should be able to pay, your rent from your tip, because she was telling me that she was making at least $1,000 a week.
Okay, so that is month 2. Now, month 3, sir, she didn't pay anything.
She basically told me at that time that she had a large trust account up north.
Trust?
Right. And that she was going to go up north, and that she was going to go ahead and get the money and bring it back.
And that's when you lent her your car?
No, I lent her the car in May.
So right away you lent her the car?
Yes.
And you lent her the car, and the car died according to your papers, and it had to be towed back to where you lived.
That's correct.
What was wrong with the car?
The transmission was completely damaged.
Well, is it her fault that the transmission went?
Basically, that the transmission, the seal of the transmission broke, but that wasn't the cause of the damage. That she had continued to drive the car for several miles after that, on a bad transmission, basically, even though all the warning lights and everything else was flashing on the car. She just continued to drive it for a long period of time until it eventually just broke the whole drivetrain and smashed the front wheels, too.
And now let's talk about the gambling. How much money did you give her to gamble, and under what circumstances?
About $1,000 over a period of 4 months.
Why?
Basically, she was already involved in gambling. She was playing what's known as Asian games in the California card rooms. And I frequent card clubs also. And I just didn't feel that was a good game to play. It's a very high-risk game. As far as any kind of gambling, as far as I'm concerned, is risky.
Any kind of gambling is risky, especially when you don't have money to pay your rent.
Yeah, that's true. And but
what do you do for a living?
I'm an entertainment consultant for the casinos.
So you're a businessman?
Yes.
Mr. Schumann, you're a businessman. Here's somebody who couldn't afford to pay you rent, she says. Where does she get money to play?
She seemed to have money all the time.
Well, if she seemed to have money all the time, why didn't you say to her, I want my rent?
That's what I had told her before.
But you continued to go gambling with her.
She would go ahead and take the money and eventually just tell me that, okay, well, after I picked up some money from my work and I'm going to bring it home and I'll pay you. And then when I come back home, she would be off to the casino somewhere, and then she would tell me the money I was going to pay you, I had lost it playing cards.
So that was very bad judgment on her part, right?
Yes.
Then you gave her more money, $1,000 over 4 months. Why would you give her more money?
Because at that time, when I started to teach her how to play poker, because she was playing in the Asian games herself. So I taught her how to play poker, and she began to win. And she was almost winning every time she was going there. But instead of paying me the money and paying me back when she borrowed the money, she would take the money and give them to her friends.
All right, so Mr. Schumann, so you take her the first time and you show her how to play poker after she's lost money playing Asian games. So you teach her how to play poker and you see that she's winning. She's not giving you the money that she owes you from money that you had given her for gambling. She's not paying your rent. She's not paying for the repairs on the car. And you continue to give her money for gambling, according to you. Right?
That's correct. But over the period of 4 months' time, she had made at least 8 or 9, I don't know, maybe even 10 trips up north saying how she was going to bring the money back. So every time she would disappear for 3 or 4 days and say that she was going to sell her furniture, and her second, she had another apartment, she was going to go ahead and get a security deposit back and bring back that security deposit. Find out later she never even had a second apartment. She told me she was going to go up north and then sell her car to her brother because her brother wanted her car. Find out later that she had already sold the car to her brother a long time ago.
You know what it sounds like to me, sir? You were hoping for something more than friendship. That's what it sounds like to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What are you doing going gambling if you don't have money to pay rent? What are you laughing at? Try to keep it together.
Real people, Judge Judy. Entertainment consultant Robert Schumann claims part-time waitress Mally Pond Sally owes him for gambling, rent, and a broken-down car.
All right, Miss Sally, let me hear your side of the story. Did you pay rent?
No.
Why?
Because he didn't tell me to pay. He first told me to move in. He's going to help me go through.
What?
Because, because he didn't tell me to pay. He told me to move in there in the house, and he wanted me to stay in his master bedroom, and he's going to stay downstairs where the other room is open. And then I didn't want to stay in his master bedroom, so I said I'd rather stay downstairs.
And you're telling me there was no agreement as far as rent? Is not an answer. Miss Sally, did you agree to pay him at some point rent of $450 a month?
No.
How much did you agree to pay him?
I said wait until I'm working and I could afford to pay him rent, and he says okay. Because when I moved in there, I have about $900, and they stole the money.
Who stole the money?
There's other people that lives in there, rent a room from him. And I can't, I don't know.
Just a second. So you're working all this time that you're living there as a waitress?
I pay him some back. So when I have,
how much did you pay him back?
I don't remember. Sometimes I give him $100, $50 when I make my tips, and I give him some of the stuff back. And then when I didn't really play Asian what he was saying that game. I just go with my friend, but my friend's a gambler, so I never played. And then he teach me how to play Hold'em, because he said I could make a living playing Hold'em instead of working.
What are you doing going gambling if you don't have money to pay rent? According to you, you said to him, I'll pay you rent as soon as I get more money from my work.
No, I didn't say.
That's what you just said to me.
Okay.
You said there was not an agreement to give him $450 a month rent. But I told him I would pay him rent as soon as I started making money. That's what you just told me, right?
I didn't say that, but it's just, if I have the money, I would help him pay the rent, but he
No, Miss Sally, that's what you just told me. What are you laughing at? Try to keep it together. So if you don't have the money to pay rent, where do you come off? Going to a gambling place?
I just go, my friend goes there. That's the only person I know in LA. I just moved from Sacramento, so she gambled. I just go with her, but then I didn't gamble.
You took money from him to gamble?
He's the one that banked me up. I said, you know, when I lost my tip money, $50, I said,
why were you playing with your tip money? Here you go. You promised this man, according to you. Let's say I don't believe him, that you said you were going to give him $450 a month. Let's say I believe you. I'm going to give you money, Mr. Schumann, as soon as I, start gathering up some money again, because my money was stolen.
It was.
So you gather up $50, and instead of giving it to him, you went and gambled with it. Let's talk about the car.
Okay.
You borrowed his car.
I told him I was going to get a rent-a-car. My friend was going to give me a rent-a-car, but he said he loaned me the car to take it home. So I drove home. I don't know what happened. I made it in the middle of LA and Sacramento. The transmission just blew up 6 in the morning. It just, that thing, the water just come out. I don't know, and I pulled over. And then I called the towing truck, and then I towed back here. I went home first with my mom and asked my mom to get the money.
That's not important. Did you drive the car after you saw the lights on in the car?
No. I went, the thing, it just, the water come out, just pulled over on the side, and I called a towing truck.
Did you ever tell him you would pay him for the car?
That time he didn't get mad or nothing, and I didn't say I was going to pay it, because he said that time wasn't the money thing. He doesn't care about the money.
Did he ever make any advances towards you socially?
What does that question means?
Did he ever come on to you?
I know before I moved in there, I know he told me he said he's in love with me. But I told him that I just came out from a relationship because I came to Sacramento away from my ex-fiance, and I don't want to deal with nothing with it. I don't have no feeling for him or no, other guys.
When did you tell him that?
I told him that before I moved in the house. But
Did she tell you that, sir?
Yes, but I had never told her that I loved her or anything like that.
Yes, she did.
Well, what did you tell her? You told her that you liked her?
I thought she was a nice person.
No, I mean, did you say to her you would like to have a relationship with her, and she said, no, I'm not?
I never said anything like that. She said something like that.
What did she say?
She told me that she thought I was one of the nicest guys that she ever met, and that she was having a hard time with her estranged boyfriend in Sacramento. That's one of the reasons why she had to get away from him and to move down to here. And, just that she said not too often that she meets someone like me.
Did you think she liked you?
So I felt that it was more coming from her than from me.
Did you like her?
I would say yes. But I never made any kind of advances toward her.
But you liked her?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
All that kind of damage would never happen if someone had just stopped the car right there.
Maybe she was in a place where it wasn't good to stop, sir. If I'm in a car and a car's lights are going off and I'm on a parkway and it's not convenient to stop because there's nothing else around there, I'll drive it until it dies.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Robert Chuman wants Malipon Sally to pay him rent, car repairs, and a gambling debt. Sally says he became too possessive.
Okay, ready to rule.
Ready to rule.
There are 3 things you're suing for, sir. You're suing for rent, you're suing for your car, and you're suing for the money that you loaned her to gamble.
Could I say one thing, Your Honor?
Sure.
I have a rental agreement here that was signed by her back in April. I have a promissory note that she had already made out.
When did she sign this?
But beginning of September, after I filed a suit against her, because I told her I was going to garnish her wages, I would do whatever it takes me to
Did
get
you
my money
sign
back.
this promissory note?
What's a promissory note?
You don't know what this is?
He gave me some papers. I just signed it. I don't know what that was for.
When did he give it to you?
Last week.
Tell me the circumstances
witness.
surrounding which you gave her this paper, sir, and when you gave it to her.
I gave it to her about beginning of September.
Where did you give it to her? In your house?
I gave it to her at the casino after I had already thrown her out. I threw her out toward the end of August.
He didn't.
Then I informed her at the time that I was going to sue her to get my money back.
Yes.
And then that's when she thought that I was going to tell her family that she was gambling all her money away down here in Southern California. So she went ahead and signed that promissory note.
Well, what would make her think that you were going to tell her family that she was gambling all of her money away?
Because she knew I was very upset about it. She knew that at that time I was being was being also seen by a doctor at the same time.
What kind of
Because I was
doctor?
almost having a nervous breakdown over this.
You having a nervous breakdown over what?
Over all of this.
Over what, sir?
All the money that she owed me.
She doesn't owe you that much money, sir. Let me tell you something.
I don't have a lot of money.
Mr. Schumann, listen to me carefully, sir. You lend somebody your car, and if the transmission goes on the car, that's not necessarily their fault. Transmission can go on a car when anybody drives a car. It could have been you behind the wheel of the car or anybody else. As far as the money that you gave her when she was gambling, you got to chalk that up to your stupidity, because somebody who doesn't pay you rent, who doesn't pay you, according to you, what you think is owed for repairing your car, you don't go and give them money to gamble, because that's just dumb. I do believe, however, based upon what, not only what you told me, but what she pretty much tells me, is that she had an agreement to pay you rent. You say that there was an agreement to pay you rent of $450 a month. She says, when she's not backtracking and covering herself, well, I told him that I would pay him when I had money from my work, but clearly she had money from her work because she was gambling, and if she was gambling, she had extra money because she wasn't paying rent, which she should have been paying. Does that make sense to you, Bird?
Clear. Crystal clear.
If I have a test, I have a receipt here from the mechanic that set the damages to that car. It said all that kind of damage would never happen if someone had just stopped the car right there and not driving 5, 6, 7, 8 miles.
Maybe she was in a place where it wasn't good to stop, sir. If I'm in a car and a car's lights are going off and I'm on a parkway and it's not convenient to stop because there's nothing else around there, I'll drive it until it dies. It's not her fault that the transmission went.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Miss Sally, you lived there 4 months?
Yes.
You paid no rent. Everybody pays rent. You owe him $1,800 in rent. Do you understand? How much did you pay him?
I pay him sometimes $100, $200, $300.
Show me proof.
He's the one that has the proof.
Did she pay you any money, sir?
She didn't pay me anything.
Of course she didn't. You want to know why she didn't? Because she lies. Miss Sally, you're not always going to be able to get away with your good looks. You're not always going to be able to get away with getting over on people. And I think you've been doing that probably a long time. Now, he is clearly not very socially adept, if you know what that means. Not too swift when it comes to the social stuff. He couldn't figure out that after 2 months he was being taken. Waited 4 months to figure out that he was being taken, and you finally moved out. You moved out owing him money for rent. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff, for the rent only in the amount of $1,800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Back door to your right.
And on the...
Parties on Faddis versus Dunn. Step forward, please.
42-year-old tree trimmer Daniel Faddis is suing his ex-wife, 38-year-old Kelly Dunn, for the cost of their daughter's group home. Daniel says he may not be the father.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 333 on the calendar in the matter of Faddis versus Dunn. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have seats, please.
Mr. Faddis, you and the defendant had been married for some time.
Yes, ma'am.
How many years?
9 years.
and had 3 children during the course of the marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, when you divorced, you were given custody of the 3 children.
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
This is a difficult lawsuit because according to your complaint, only recently your former wife told you that you were not the biological father of your oldest child, who was 14?
Yeah.
That child was at some point in a state institution.
Yes, ma'am, she was.
And the state wants you to pay for the money that they expended while she was in that institution.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of an institution was that?
It was a group home after she got out of juvenile hall. They put her in a group home, and now the group home's going after me for the expenses.
And the expenses were what, sir? 2,000?
I've got it right here. 2,892. My part, my share.
$2,892.
$92. Yes, ma'am.
When you say your share,
Yes, ma'am.
was that half of the expense?
No, that's my expense based on what I make.
I've also been furnished with the copy of a paternity test that you recently took, which indicate that you are, in fact, not the biological father of this child.
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't feel as if it's reasonable, given that, to have to pay this amount?
No, ma'am, I don't.
When did Ms. Dunn here tell you that you either were not or probably were not the father of this child?
It was about 2 years ago, 2 years, 6 months ago. It was prior to her moving back in my hometown.
And you were moving back there with the children, with the 3 children?
No, she was moving back to where I lived. She had moved away, gone to live with her father, and she was moving back.
To where you were living with the children?
Yes, ma'am.
I see. And what prompted this conversation, sir?
She wrote me a letter, and I had gotten several phone calls on the phone, and at first I dismissed.
Well, what did she write you the letter about?
Well, she stated in this letter that I'm not the dad and that she was going to fight to get the kids back.
How long had you had custody of the children at that point?
Probably a year and a half.
When you were given custody of the children, was she present in court?
No, ma'am, she was not.
Was there a trial, a custody trial?
Yes, ma'am, we'd gone to mediation, and she didn't show up for the mediation, so they gave me custody of the kids.
Were the children with her at that point when they gave you custody of the children?
No, she had given them to me, and I was taking care of them at the time.
And after she gave you the children, you went to court to get a legal order of custody?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
When did you tell him that he was not Crystal's father?
It was after we were married. I'm not sure about what time.
How much after? 6 months, a year,
around
2 years?
6 months to a year. There was a doubt. I told him there was a doubt. It could have been this other person or himself. I was dating them both at the same time.
So you never told him he wasn't the father. You told him there was a chance.
There was a big chance, yes.
Did she ever tell that to you?
It had come up in conversation that it's possible, but I dismissed it because she's lied to me several times in the past, and I just, I had raised her as my own.
So you knew early on, at least from her,
yes,
that there was this chance that you were not Crystal's father.
Yes, ma'am.
And how old was Crystal when you married?
3 months.
Why would you tell him 3 months afterwards that there was a chance that he was not the father?
A lot of reasons. I was, after we got married, he was very abusive. There was times where I was being beat up, thrown against walls, and things would come out of my mouth. Just like, this was a mistake I made. I can't believe I made this mistake. You're not the father, leave me alone kind of stuff. He was put in and out of jail for at least 10 years of our marriage. There's I have 4 police reports here. There's others in San Jose, over 10 more arrests for abuse and spousal abuse, child abuse. I have 2 counts here, assault with a deadly weapon on myself and my family.
If this is the kind of terrible person he is, why didn't you show up for the custody hearing?
At that time, I had no job.
So what?
Well, I can't explain my situation at that time. I was very confused, upset. I needed psychiatry help. I was not together at this point. I felt he had the money. He's the one who could take care of it. At this point, he went through family counseling to help his temper and stuff. He was going through parenting classes and stuff like that. I felt maybe he would be the better parent until I got help for myself. That's why I moved to my father's.
First, would you show this to the defendant and ask her if this is her handwriting?
Yeah, I really don't remember. A long time ago. Oh, yeah, it is my printing. I didn't sign it, but yes, it is my printing.
Ms. Dunn, there were some very good things in this letter. There were some very bad things in this letter.
Yes, there was.
Generally speaking, what you say in this letter is, I didn't love you when we got married, but I grew to love you.
Yes.
To him. It's too bad we can't get along, but we have kids. I want to be part of the children's lives. Let's put whatever differences we have behind us and just let me have a relationship with my kids.
Yes.
That's what this letter says, so far. I haven't come to the bad part yet, but I will. The bad part, Ms. Dunn, is that you say in this letter, if I have to fight dirty, I'm going to fight dirty. And if that means telling Crystal that you're not her father, I'm going to tell Crystal that you're not her father. Because if that's the only way that I can make sure I have my daughter, that's what I'm going to have to do. That is tragic.
I know, ma'am.
You're supposed to love your children more than you hate each other and put your children's interests above your own all the time. Period. End of discussion. For a young teenage girl to be hit with this reality is devastating.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She was emotionally upset. She was experimenting with drugs. She was sleeping, doing things that she should not be doing at the age of 13.
Real people, Judge Judy. Daniel Faddis is suing his ex-wife, Kelly Dunn, for the cost of their daughter's group home. He contends he is not the father.
Where is Crystal living now?
She lives with me.
And the 2 other children live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen Crystal?
Well, I've seen her a couple of times, once while she was in the group home, and a couple of times when I went to drop off the kids at her house, I seen her, and that's pretty much been the...
Have you reached out to her?
When we went to court, I tried my best in every way that I possibly could to keep her from going to her mom's. I didn't think that was a good place for her up until the time that she told Crystal that I may not be her dad. Crystal and I had a pretty good relationship. Since then, it's fallen apart.
What was she doing in the group home?
While she was living with her mother, she got thrown in juvenile hall again, and they took her away from Kelly and put her in a group home.
What did you get put in juvenile hall for?
Ma'am, she was put in juvenile hall by him first. I got the leftovers when I took custody of her. She was emotionally upset. She was experimenting with drugs. She was doing things that she should not be doing at the age of 13. I went to court, took custody of her. I moved to Fresno from the mountains, which was the big adjustment for her. She started rebelling, hanging around, getting bad grades, flunking. No matter what I did, my child would not listen to me. Finally, I called the probation officer after I had to commit my daughter to a 72-hour lockdown in a psychiatric because she was slamming her head against the window.
Out of control.
Out of control completely. So I put her into this home which originally was only going to be for 3 months, but because she was not making progress or showing any progress, I went to court and that suggested that she stay longer.
Okay.
She ended up staying a year.
And now she's home with you.
Oh, yeah, A, B student, you know.
So it was better.
Excellent. She's excellent.
Do you have any other children?
No, I don't. No, this is it.
So you work?
I am going to school full time as a computer school, and I get unemployment at this time. So I won't be. My ideal is I do not want to flip hamburgers the rest of my life.
Well, you have.
And I'm learning computer, and I have a computer myself, and I would like.
Well, that's fine, but don't you feel as if, under the circumstances of this case, you are responsible for this $2,800?
Yes, I do, ma'am. I also went down. Apparently, I went down. You went a week before I did. After we went the first time to the DA's office, and I talked to the DA. And I said I would want all responsibility taken from Danny. They said, because Danny has raised her this long, even though knowing this, they do not want to, because of the group home and all this stuff, and the psychiatrist, therapist, they do not want to, traumatize her anymore. And I said, okay, and I even gave them description of the other possible parents. And they do not want to go, they don't want to go after this person. They want Danny to be responsible.
Have you spoken to the person who you now know is the biological father of your daughter?
No, I have not. It was about 3 years ago I talked to him last. He was moving to Sacramento, California.
What did you speak to him about 3 years ago?
We were talking because Danny and I were, because at this time my daughter did really know basically that there may be a possibility. And I was talking to him, and he said that if anything happens, let him know. He would like to participate, or he would take responsibility for that. And I said, well, this is my daughter. That's not the point. Crystal feels in her heart that she would like to. She's losing a father here. That's what she feels right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know what's going to happen. Maybe she would like to meet the other person. Maybe she has a brother or sister here or there. Maybe there's another part of the family that she may look like. These kind of things.
So she has an interest in seeing.
She does have an interest.
She has an interest in seeing who her biological father was.
Yes.
And is.
And is.
When was the first time you told him that he was likely the father, or possibly the father of this child?
After I've told Danny, or long before that, it was about 1 or 2 years into my marriage. And he at the same time, he wasn't sure either. Not without a paternity test, we could never know. But he always said, if ever,
if ever you want a paternity test, you can have one.
Well, basically, and he was willing to contribute also, but that wasn't the case. It had to be one father at that point.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was living with me before that because he beat her up, basically. Oh, I have a police report right here.
Well, let me see it, madam.
Yes,
let me see it.
Closed captioning, sponsored